I've been wanting to make these videos for quite a while. I wanted to start working on this like talking head style video thing where we do a more like casual, less edited, less scripted video where I just kind of pick a topic and run with it. And I'm very good at rambling and doing that on live streams, so I thought maybe I'd be good at this, but this is like my 15th attempt, so wish me luck this time. This video is sponsored by Brilliant. More about them later. So I've been making a game for 7 years now. Somehow I've been able to stick to it, even though I've wanted to quit hundreds of times, probably. Let's talk about how I stay motivated, maybe what I've learned that might help you finish your own games. For some context, my name is Michael Kosha. I have been making games since 2006 when I graduated high school. I now work primarily in Unreal Engine, and I'm mostly working on a game called Swords and Magic and stuff. It launched in 2020 in early access on Steam. We had a successful Kickstarter. At one point we had up to 5 developers working on the game, and now I'm back solo working on it thanks to financial reasons. Before Swords and Magic, I probably spent close to a week, maybe 2 weeks average on each game project, which meant I never finished anything pretty much. I could finish game jams that were like a few days to a week long, and that was about it. So somehow I was able to start Swords and Magic, and I kept it going for 7 years until it launched, and even working on it now after launch. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the main reasons. So reason number 1, I think it's important to reframe success when it comes to game development, especially for longer projects, because I think a lot of people look at it as the success is finishing the game, launching it, and then making money. And I think if you look at it that way, it's pretty easy to quit because you have an entire mountain to climb ahead of you, and it's impossible to stick to that task and finish climbing that mountain when you see how much is ahead of you, especially if your entire goal is just get to the top. But if you can break that, you can reframe that success and break it down into smaller bite-sized bits, it's so much easier to keep going. And this started from day 1 with Swords and Magic. My goal originally was not to make a giant open world multiplayer RPG. In fact, it was to make, it was actually just a test project. And my goal was to see if I could figure out Unreal Engine enough to get a character that I made moving around. So I modeled a very simple cube-shaped character, was able to get it rigged using, I think, Mixamo at the time. And then I dropped it into Unreal Engine and went from there. By taking that first step as, can I get this character moving around? It was way easier to get started and way easier to actually accomplish that first step. And then from there, my next goal was, can I get the character jumping? Can I get the character dodge rolling? Can I drop an item into the world, or can I make him swing a sword? Can I do damage to an enemy? Can I figure this stuff out? So I took it as like bite-sized challenges and just added a little bit at a time. And even when the game started getting bigger and bigger and we had bigger goals in mind, it was still always smaller goals. Can we finish this one system? Or can I make this thing work? Or can I add a new spell to the game? And once I had that sort of workflow going, it was much easier to stay on task. So the next thing that helped me a lot is finding external accountability. And this comes in many forms. For me, it was things like starting a Discord channel, live streaming, a Kickstarter, and then eventually launching the game in early access. All those things helped keep me motivated because I had accountability, right? I had to be accountable for the things I was doing. So I started live streaming because a friend asked me if they could see my development process. And I was really nervous at first because I didn't know what I was doing, and I had major imposter syndrome for good reason because I was an imposter at the time, pretty much. And so I started live streaming on Twitch just for fun to one person, and one person turned into 5, and then within 6 months or so I had 15 and then 20 regular people. And having just one person there waiting for me to go live a couple days a week turned into me feeling like I had a job to go to every single night. So 10 o'clock at night or whatever, I would put my daughter to bed, and then I would go start a live stream, and I would stream until like 4 a.m. almost every night working on the game. And because I had those people waiting for that game and waiting for that content to watch and see what was going on and see like what I've been up to or what I was going to work on that night, it kept me going. And I felt like I had an obligation to perform, I guess, and to develop that game live. And I couldn't just give up on it because people were excited about it. And the more excited those people got, the more excited I got, and the easier it was to stay on track. Discord's another one. Once we started a Discord server and we had lots of people on it, it was really easy to start posting content on there and showing people what I'd worked on for people who had missed the streams and such. When we started getting testers in and people were playing the updates and stuff, and I would tell them, okay, yeah, I'll fix that bug, or I'm gonna add some more content in here, or I'm gonna add a new quest in here. It was really easy to just keep motivated with that because those people were giving us live feedback essentially. Like as soon as they would go live, they'd play it and test it, and sometimes I'd get to see them live on their own stream or through like a Discord call or whatever, and I could see exactly like how that content was affecting them as players, and that was really easy to like stay working on it because of that feedback loop. Next up, we have taking breaks, or forcing yourself to take a break. Really is sometimes how it turns out. I think a lot of people look at taking breaks as a negative thing a lot of the time because it just feels like you're not getting any work done. And if you take a break or take a week off or something, then you're not going to finish something that you'd otherwise finish if you're working. So I think it's important to kind of reframe your mindset around breaks as well. Burnout is a serious thing. It's a real thing that you will definitely come across as a game developer. I've burnt out many times, and it took me a long time to learn that I had to start taking breaks. And breaks don't necessarily mean you have to stop making games or stop working stop making games in general. It just means you have to stop working on whatever you're working on. So if you have a big enough game like Swords and Magic is, we have lots of systems. And so I could easily just take a break from programming and move over into the art field and start making some models or start designing a level or doing level design for a new zone or something. So there's a lot of different hats I can wear to just jump between, which was really helpful. I also like taking breaks to play games, which my gaming group or my friends probably don't like the way I play games because I will only play until I get motivated to work again, which is usually like a week tops. So I'll usually put 10 to 20 hours into a game. I'll get sufficiently motivated to start making something similar or get excited about something similar. And then I will quit working and I will move on to that new topic, which is good and bad. It keeps me from getting, I don't develop any sort of like gaming addictions. There's rarely a game I will stick to for longer than a few months, which I think is a good thing because it keeps me jumping around and trying new things and seeing more, I guess, angles of game design and development. And it also just always pushes me back to design. And I think that's just because I'm a very creative person and it's hard for me to consume media without getting inspired to create it myself. Also, taking breaks to make other projects is not a bad thing. In fact, I don't really know if I recommend having multiple serious projects at a time. I think taking breaks to do game jams or to toy with another idea or tinker with a new project or something. If you have really something that's bothering you that you really just have to get out and you want to try it, then do it. Take a weekend off, but give yourself a timeline, right? Give yourself don't just decide to shelf your project and start working on a new thing for indefinitely. Give yourself a game jam or do a sprint or something to frame that break and make it make sense for you in your development cycle so you don't get lost in it. What else? Always learning something new. I think learning new things has been something that I've actually been struggling more with now, thanks to getting older, probably having less time to experiment and having way more content out there to learn from between different sources. So sometimes I'm not even sure where to begin, to be honest. There's just so much stuff to follow. So that's why I'm actually really excited about the sponsor of this video, which is Brilliant. Let's talk about that and then we'll get back to the video. Brilliant helps you get smarter every day with thousands of interactive lessons in math, science, programming, data analysis, and even AI. Brilliant is a learning app built to actually work. Every lesson is hands-on, so instead of just watching someone explain a concept, you're actively solving problems and exploring ideas for yourself. That kind of learning has been shown to be 6 times more effective than just watching lectures. Brilliant's first principles approach helps you really understand things from the ground up, and with a mix of fun, challenging problems, competitive features like leagues, and daily streaks to keep you on track, it's surprisingly easy to stay motivated. All of the content is crafted by a team of top-notch educators, researchers, and professionals from places like Stanford, MIT, Google, and Microsoft. I started with a thinking and code lesson and was pleasantly surprised. The simple analogies and step-by-step puzzles made every concept click. I love this approach, and it already has me looking at my development process completely differently. After each puzzle, you're offered a little why button, which goes above and beyond to explain why the solution is what it is, rather than just telling you if you're right or wrong, which is probably what I was missing my entire K-12 education. If you want to learn faster, whether it's algorithms, data science, or AI concepts, head to brilliant.org/michaelkosha, sign up with my link, and get a 30-day free trial to explore hundreds of interactive courses. and 20% off a premium annual subscription. And now back to the video. So we're back. The next up is don't spoil the surprise. If you've ever given a birthday gift, I think you'll understand what I mean here. Sometimes it's really exciting to give the gift early, but then when that person's actual birthday rolls around or whatever, it feels like kind of a dud because it wasn't as exciting because they didn't have that cool gift to open or whatever. Spoiling your surprise or spoiling your game to people too early can cause you to get bored of it because it feels like that idea in your head is already out. You've already released it and it's out free in the world for people to enjoy. It's not, but it feels like it is because it's off your chest. You've got it out of your head. So sometimes withholding that information and keeping those spoilers and keeping those secrets and that basically the whole game idea in your head for the entirety of your development or most of it until you can start, showing off content and things like that you've created can be really helpful because it keeps that drive to like wanting to finish it, to share it with people. I've had many times where I've been really excited about a project and then I've sat down and told a friend all about it. And then the next day it doesn't feel as magical anymore because it's out. I've already talked about it and I've got it off my chest. And now the idea just doesn't seem as cool. Sometimes that's a good thing because sometimes those ideas are actually not great ideas. And once they're out of your head, you start realizing when all the pieces start coming together that it's a mess and it's not what you actually want to make in the first place. But a lot of the times, if it is a cool idea and you actually really do like it and you've thought through it a lot in your head, you can ruin it for yourself by telling someone about it. So sometimes not spoiling the surprise and keeping it to yourself can actually help a lot. And lastly, make something worth finishing. Especially as a new dev, a lot of people will start making a game that they don't really care about that much because people have told them to. Like a lot of people suggest make small games. This is going to be terrible, so it needs to be a throwaway game. It's never going to be good anyway, so don't worry about trying to make it good, just finish it. And I just feel like if your goal is to create cool things and you want to be a game developer to make games that you would like to play, then going into a game design, even if it's small and even if the goal is just to finish the game, I don't feel like that's maybe the best strategy. You want to make something cool. You want to make something that's worth your time and that's worth finishing and that's worth someone playing and that's maybe worth selling, who knows? So I think even if you're starting out, make small games, yeah, but make sure you make a game that you're actually excited about. Make sure you're making a game that you really want to play and make sure that as you're developing it, you're getting more and more excited about it. Try not to fall in love with it. You don't want to get too attached because then you won't be able to kill features or you'll be polishing it forever, trying to make sure it's perfect. But yeah, do your best to make sure you're designing something that's actually worth finishing. Otherwise, it'll be pretty much impossible to finish it. Anyway, let's recap. So finishing games is hard. It's a skill in itself. No one can stay motivated all the time. So if you're not motivated for a day, don't worry about it. Take that day to take a break from your game, or try the 5-minute approach where you work on your game for 5 minutes. And then if you want to keep going, then keep going. And if you feel like you're done for the day, then you can be done for the day. It really depends. Sometimes you don't have that luxury. Sometimes you just have to push through a deadline or something. And that's what leads to burnout, for sure. So yeah, working without motivation can also be something that sometimes you have to do, especially like with those deadlines. Sometimes you just don't feel like working and you're not excited about the project, but maybe you're getting paid to do it and you just have to do it anyway. And being able to kind of roll with that and understand that sometimes you're not always fully motivated to get something done doesn't necessarily mean you won't be the next day, and it doesn't necessarily mean that this project isn't worth finishing. Sometimes you just have to push through. You just have to be careful with how much you're pushing through. And if you find yourself pushing through way too much and you're never really having those days where you're super motivated to get out of bed and get to work on this thing, then you might be burnt out, or you might be realizing that this isn't the project worth finishing. So yeah, reframe your success. Find some accountability, find a friend you can post things to, or start streaming on Twitch, or make YouTube videos, make a devlog. Find an audience that you can post things to. Take breaks when you need to. Don't burn yourself out. Take breaks to play games. Take breaks to make other things and try new things. Take breaks to do game jams. Always be learning something new, and make sure you check out Brilliant if you want a better place to learn things. Don't spoil your surprises if you can help it. Obviously, you want to market your game, but don't spoil your surprises. And lastly, make something that's actually worth finishing. That's how I stay motivated for 7 years making Swords and Magic and stuff, and I think you can do it too. Maybe try not to make a 7-year project, because that maybe was a bad idea, but stay motivated, finish your games. And if you like the videos like this and you want to see more stuff like this, then like and subscribe and let me know in the comments section so I know to keep making things like this, because I want to. I feel like I have a lot of ideas to share, but I don't know if people are going to like this or not. And this one's probably going to be pretty rough, but I'll get better at this, I think, as I keep going. I hope. I'll try. So anyway, yeah, one final thank you to Brilliant. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Make sure you check it out. Yeah, and if you like this video, then make sure you let the algorithm know. Okay, thanks for watching.